John Young with the Disc Jockey News. We are at DJ Expo 2014. We're at the Numark booth right now, and I have got Chris Roman here from Numark. Chris, this is the hottest thing at the show so far. You are going to be giving us a world debut of the new controller, the NV.
Absolutely, I can do that for you.
That's awesome.
Right.
Yeah, that's a hot thing today. A lot of people have been checking this out.
This is the latest from Numark. This is the Numark NV. It's a full-fledged 4-channel controller. It has all the latest features in it. Everything you possibly want to get out of Serato, you get right here. This has, obviously, your 4-channel mixer right down the middle. It is a control mixer, of course. On the mixer section itself, we pulled a lot of the same features that we have inside the NS7 too. For instance, we have all those capacitive touch knobs down the middle, which you would do all sorts of great things. For instance, you can do your filter rolls. I can do things like kill the frequency of what's going on just by touching the knob. All those really cool things. We have effects assignable on either side. We have a master output that's balanced. We have a booth output as well. We have a microphone input. We have a line input. Down in the mixer section itself, we've brought back in the fader start. So as you can see, starting on that side, starting on that side. We have our Crossfader curve control as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'd like to show you a few different things about the decks, because that's what really makes this unique over everything else out there. On each deck you're going to find a very nice full color display, and on that full color display you're going to be able to see a lot of different kinds of information. You'll be able to see, for instance, the needle, the widget basically that shows you where you are. So if I should decide I want to scratch it, I can see it moving in time and get a feel for where I am. So when I go back and scratch back again, I can find that point very, very quickly. In addition to that, of course, what's more important is we have moving waveforms on the display. So we have our track view, we have our moving waveforms. Let's say I want to set a cue point. I can see that in the display. I can see it also up there in the track form. I can see all the parameters that I have on my pad set up for. I can see the time. I can see the BPM. I can see all that pertinent, important information. In fact, one of the things that's very nice about having a display is right above each one of the effect knobs here, I can see what the parameters I'm going to adjust. And now using those capacitive touch knobs, I'm going to apply a little bit of an effect right now, simply by touching the cap of the knob. And as you can see, I can see where my parameter is right now. And adjust all that. All that information is right there in front of me. So if I go to make an adjustment, I know what it is at all times. So you don't have that with a regular controller. You just have to look at the screen. You really got to do a little. You have to turn on the screen to your effects section. Take a look at it, figure out where it is, and all that. It's here all the time, right there in the display. And of course, on top of everything else, you want to be able to find your music, right? So what we're able to do here is when I turn my knob, I go into my crates that I have inside of Serato. And I can, if I don't like this particular crate, I could go back, I could find another crate. So I'll go to my top hits music. I might go in there and find maybe the most overplayed song on the planet right now, Selfie, right? So we'll load that to the deck. And there you go, away I go, up and running right away.
When Jason was at the table, I kept on saying about the baby while he was with the girl.
All right.
Do you think he was just doing that to make me jealous?
So moving on the display area itself, we also have other kinds of controls. For instance, as you can see, I can change the display view, and I can change that at any time I need to. If I need to cycle through, I want to see where the widget is right now for my scratching, so I can scratch a point. It's right there. I can also control on the software. Now you can't see the computer right now. Why? Because the computer is not here. The computer is closed up underneath.
Very nice.
There's no computer up here with my controller. And I have all the control and all access to all the music that I need right here. So it's almost like going back a little bit. It's like going back to the days of using a CD player and things like that, where you might cycle through some things there. But now I got everything right here. So the audience has no idea you have a computer there. They're not confused about the fact you're actually a DJ and doing your job. Right here with the NV. All right, so in addition to all that, I have my controls for setting my grid. I have my controls for setting the range of pitch that I want to use today. Just change right there, there's my range. I can change my decks up here. So deck 3, I have nothing loaded right now. Let's go up and load something up over there. And I'll go back to the deck that's currently playing right now. As I adjust my pitch, I know what my pitch is right now. I also see my speed change all at the same time, right there in line with what's going on. Now on the deck itself, on the play area itself, we have all the same controls that you have on the NS7 too. We have, of course, the ability to do slipping. So if I want to scratch a little bit, I want to slip the track. It'll jump ahead to where it would have been had I not scratched in the first place. Nice. I can turn on and off my wheel, of course, so I don't have to scratch. I can just use it for a pitch bend if I'd like.
What a creep. Is that
Down here on the deck controls, on the velocity sensitive pads, I have control over all my different functions. And again, very similar to the NS7 too. We establish these functions in conjunction with Serato, trying to bring to you the most effective kinds of controls that you'd want to use in a live situation. So in cues, we have our standard cues mode.
Oh my god, Jason just texted me. Should I go home with him?
And let me slip out a slip right now. Alright, so I'm jumping back to the cue point, go to the other side of it. When I go to hit it, it's going to do it in a loop. And I can adjust the size of that loop just by moving my parameter controls back and forth. Next, I have all my auto loops. Alright, got my regular loop controls in, out, to release my loop. I have my sampler, which I have, looks like I have something loaded up here. In addition to all that, I also have a slicer. And of course, the slicer looping, which basically takes a section and completely repeats that section again and again. So I have access to all those great controls right here. In addition to all that, we are introducing the flip. And that flip is something for Serato that allows you to take your cue points, set them up in a sequence, play them back in that sequence. We're shipping NV with flip. It's a very, very cool effect. The best way to see that feature actually is online. We have some excellent demonstrations now out there for our other in-music brand, Akai. We have a new controller that just came out for Akai that's called the AFX, and that controller has all the different controls that you might want to have inside it for using flip mode with special controls for that. This comes with flip. Again, the pads are remapped for flip when you have flip active.
Very cool, very cool. Chris, let's look now. You've got this one was, of course, computer was below. Now, when on the other one, now, is there any difference really in it when it's running with the computer down or the computer up like you have it on the second one?
Well, on the second one, obviously, what I wanted to show you was on the display here, I have ways to control the screen now. So, if I want to have 3 displays, let's say, I want to have the screen here, and then a screen over here off to the side, I can go through, I can change the look of my screen. Obviously, if I'm doing selections of tracks, I can have a much greater view, of course, the number of songs, because it's a bigger screen on the computer. I also have the ability to change, like, for instance, the area down here, of what's being displayed in that area down here. And I also have the ability to do various other things, because, of course, once you go to a view like this, you do have the ability to have the, for instance, the typical view where you stack your waveforms and things like that as well, which some people like to have in front of them. But you don't have to have that. And one of the things that we've done to make sure that you don't have to have that is the fact that we have the beat keeper built into it also. So across the top here, if you take a look, there's a meter that goes across there. And if I change my speeds, it shows me when things are in phase and when they're not. So right there, now it's in phase, I'm out of phase, I'm back in phase again right there. Oh yeah, and of course we do have effects control not only on the channels themselves, but we do also on the masters. So if you're the type of guy that doesn't want to think about where you're putting your effects, you just want to apply to everything, well then just set it up so you apply it to everything right there. So a replaceable crossfader as well. And on the headphones, we have split Q out, we have our gain control, we have our mix control, we have our headphone control. In fact, let's unplug this guy right now. I can show you the back of the unit. See what our ins and outs are. So like I said, we have our balanced output, we have our main output, we have our booth output. We have our input for a CD player or for an iPod. We have our microphone input, the USB. We have a little piece here that's designed to hold your power connector in so it can't fall out during the middle of your gig. Your power input and your power.
Very nice. Very, very nice. When are we going to be able to find these on the store shelves?
Well, obviously, if you want to see it right now, you have to come down to DJ Expo. But in about 60 days, we're going to start having these on store shelves. We're done. So, and units are right now on their way to the stores.
Nice.
So,
very, very nice. If people want to find out more information, where can they go?
go to www.numark.com. And you'll be able to find, there's a microsite there that has a lot of great information about these controllers on it. Oh, you know what, I can't forget one thing. Not only are we shipping it with flip mode, but we're also working in collaboration with Tool Room Records. Tool Room Records is a major label. They're based in the UK. They have various artists on there like Mark Knight and various other EDM artists on there. And we're shipping the Envy with a full collection of samples, of loops, of stems, all sorts of things from these different artists, so you can actually get out and start sort of remixing on the fly using your Numark Envy.
Wow, very cool. Very, very cool. Sounds great. Chris, thank you very much for your time today.
You're welcome.
This is John Young with the Disc Jockey News.